Forgot how to fix myself. They say that time is free. Then why is it so precious? Oh, I'll say memories in my head, like Polaroids on walls. They remind you to look ahead. Time is running out. Time is running out. Lately I've lost my track. I've sailed the deepest seas, hoping to find something to bring back better times. Oh, I'll say memories in my head, like Polaroids on walls. They remind you to look ahead. But time is running out. 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 Time is running. Time is running out. But time is running out. What if my best days are over? They can't be over. They can't be over now. Time is running out. What if my best days are over? They can't be over now. Time is running out. Time is running out. Time is running out.
Good evening, everybody. It's John here from Tutor to You, welcoming you along to another A-level law live stream. Tonight, we're concentrating on preliminary offences attempts. That's easy for me to say. Once again, I've failed in my first line. Good evening to anybody who is watching us live tonight. It is lovely to see you as always. I've said we're here doing our A-level law live stream. This is our last one of 2025. I'll talk about next year when we get to the end of it. I'm joined tonight, of course, by Gemma on the left-hand side of the screen and Emily in the middle. Good evening to you both.
Hello.
Evening, John.
Right, as I said, very warm welcome to anybody who's watching us live. If you are, Gemma and Emily are going to deliver a number of fairly fast-paced activities where we're hoping to get some responses from you. If you are joining us live, please do use the chat window to give us your thoughts there. If you're watching this on replay, a very warm welcome to you as well. At the end of the live stream, I'll press the finish button, and the PowerPoint we're using tonight will be available for anybody wishing to download that too. And of course, this is all being recorded, so you can always watch it all over again. I think that's all of that stuff out of the way. Shall we get started?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
let's go. Okay, so our first activity is called the big reveal. So we're going to reveal some clues, and then what you've got to do is try and work out what these reveal. So let's reveal the first clue. So this is a case from 1991. So we're looking for a case here on attempts from 1991. Okay. Second reveal, let's have a look. So this is what happened in the case. Somebody was waiting outside a post office with an imitation gun and a threatening note. That'll probably give you little bit more of an idea. As soon as you know the case name, type it in. Third one, the defendant was arrested before stepping inside the post office. We've got somebody waiting outside the post office with an imitation gun and threatening note, and they were arrested before they stepped inside. Number 4, they were arrested for attempted robbery. So there was an attempt here. Okay, and lastly, they were found not guilty as they had not gone past mere preparation. So you've got to do something more than merely preparatory for an attempt to be successful. And that can be a difficult line to draw. When have you done that? So here, with an imitation gun threatening note standing outside the post office, is that more than merely preparatory? When do you, as another famous case said, when do you cross the Rubicon and, actually into the actual offence? Okay, so any ideas, pop it in the chat window, the case name. Okay, let's have a look at the reveal. It's Campbell. Okay, that's a key case. There's loads of cases on attempts that you will study and look at. Some of them your teachers might pick different ones than we've done here, and that's fine, but that's quite a common one. Okay, well done to anybody who got that playing along live or on recap. Okay, so true or false now? The Criminal Attempts Act 1981 contains the offence of criminal attempt. So is it contained within a statute, or is it perhaps from somewhere else? So type in the chat box true or false. Anybody? Where is it contained? Where do we get the offence of criminal attempts from? Okay, let's have a look. It is, of course, true. Yes, that does contain the definition of criminal attempts. Okay. Here, true or false, the defendant must embark on the crime proper to be guilty of an attempted offence. Now, of course, they don't have to complete the offence because that would be it in its entirety. But embarking on the crime proper, what does that really mean? That can be difficult to determine. Is that true or false? We've got some answers coming in. Let's have a reveal. It is, of course, true. Yes, I did say before they've got to do something more than merely preparatory. Cross the Rubicon. Embark on the crime proper. All those are correct. Well done to the person playing along live, the people who've got that correct. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. The defendant cannot be guilty if they attempt the impossible. So attempting the impossible. You can't be guilty if you attempt the impossible. Let's have a look. We've got some answers coming in already. Let's have a reveal. Of course, you can be. Okay, so you might have studied the case of Shipori, where they thought they were importing some illegal drugs, but actually it was just vegetable matter, which of course it is not illegal to import, and that's not drugs. But they thought what they were doing was actually drugs. So there they were actually doing the impossible, but a charge do still follow. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Whether something is more than merely preparatory, which I've looked at and I said that is key in making out an attempt, that is a question of fact for the jury to decide. Is that true or false? It is difficult to decide when has somebody embarked on the crime proper, when they've done something more than merely preparatory. Is it standing outside the bank and weighing up the best time to rob it? Is it getting the plans for it? Is it going out buying the imitation gun? Is it buying the balaclava? Is it standing outside? Is it even when you go into the bank? Or is it when you take the imitation gun out of your pocket? It's very difficult. So let's have a look. Is that a question for the jury to decide? Is, of course, true. Well done to those people who got that correct. Yes, the jury will decide that on the facts of each individual case as it plays out in court. Okay. Conditional intent is sufficient for attempted theft. True or false? We have got some people playing along live here who have got all these correct so far. So let's see if they manage to get this one as well. Let's have a look at the reveal. false. That one is indeed false. And then I think we move on to the last one here. Oh no, we're moving on to a different game, altered vowels. So we've got key phrases here linked to attempts, and the vowels have been changed to an alternative vowel. Can you work out the key phrase? Let's have a look at the first one. So we've got a bit of a scramble here, really, haven't we? Bit of a scramble, bit of an anagram here. Let's have a look. Yeah, mens rea, bit of an anagram here. Absolutely, mens rea. Well done. Important, not just in attempts, but in any criminal law element here. Mens rea, the guilty mind, element of any offence. So key throughout criminal law. Well done to those people who got that right. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Bit of a scramble on this one, a bit harder here. Might get the second word first. Even if you get part of it, please type it in. Let's have a look. Let's have a reveal. Factual impossibility. Well done. Well done to those people who have got that. Oof. Bit of a change up here. Let's have a look at this one. Scrambled. This is a difficult one. This is quite difficult. Let's have a reveal. Planning to execution. Yes, so the planning to execution of the actual event. Okay. That is a tricky one. That is a tricky one. I think this one is a bit easier. It is on a case that I've already mentioned. Case that I looked at before, that I spoke about, where there was some importation of drugs. I think this is one a bit easier. I think people are getting it. Let's have a look at that. Legal impossibility. Yeah, so that was looked at in the case of Shupuri. Okay, so well done for those who got that. Some of those were quite tricky. Some of those scrambled words there. Okay, well done for that. Okay, now I'll move over to Emily and she'll take you through some other activities.
Thanks very much, Gemma. So we're going to move on to multiple choice questions now. So if we move straight on to the next slide, thank you. I'm going to read out the question, the answers. All you need to do is type in the answer that you think corresponds to the correct one. So A, B, C, or D is all I need. Number 1, in which year was the Criminal Attempts Act enacted? Was it A, 1988, B, 1985, C, 1980, or D, 1981? We've already got one answer straight in the chat there. You've been doing particularly well tonight, so well done. Let's have the answer revealed. Congratulations. Yes, it is 1981, so your answer was D. Well done. Moving on to number 2. Which section of the Criminal Attempts Act 1981 contains the offence of attempting to do the impossible? So A, Section 1, Subsection 1, B, Section 2, Subsection 1, C, Section 1, Subsection 4, or D, Section 1, Subsection 2. Be careful, a couple of those answers are quite similar, so double check your answer before you pop it in the chat. So again, excuse me, again, pop your answer in the chat when you're ready. A, B, C, or D. What do we think the answer is? And feel free to just have a go. You don't have to know for definite. As your teachers will always tell you in your exam, even if you don't know, you still attempted the question. All right, let's reveal the answer. It is again D. Well done. So Section 1, Subsection 2 covers impossibility. As Gemma mentioned earlier, a key case for that is Shivpuri. Bear that in mind for later on. Number 3. Which case involved a defendant who tried to poison his mother? Now, this one is a particularly infamous case. I think every single law teacher teaches this, so we should all be aware of it. Is it A, Campbell, B, Geddes, C, White, or D, Shivpuri? Pop your answers in the chat when you think you know the answer. Okay, we've got one for C so far. Let's reveal the answer. Congratulations, it is in fact White. But remember, he attempted to poison his mother, but prior to him, before she was actually able to die from ingesting the poison, she actually died from a heart attack. So we use this as an example of impossibility, but also a lack of factual causation, because but for his actions, she still would have died. But also, even though he attempted to do something that was impossible, because obviously she died from the heart attack before the poison could kill her, he was still able to be guilty of an attempted crime. Not the actual murder, because that wasn't factually what killed her, but he was still able to be convicted of attempted murder. Thank you very much. Move on to number 4. Which statement best describes the mens rea for attempts? Is it A, the defendant intends to commit the full offence? B, the defendant must foresee a risk that the offence might occur? C, the defendant has gone beyond mere preparation? Or D, the defendant intends the preparatory acts? A, B, C, or D? Pop your answers in the chat. Okay, let's reveal the answer. We've got A so far. Congratulations. Yes, they have to actually have the mens rea for the full offence, which is often more than you need for the mens rea of the actual full offence. For example, in murder, you would be able to satisfy the mens rea of murder by simply intending to cause GBH, but that wouldn't be enough to satisfy the mens rea of attempted murder. Let's move on to number 5. Oh, sorry, forgot about this. This is a bubble quiz. So the number of answers can range from 0 to all 4. So let's move on to the first question. So I'm going to show you the question and 4 possible answers. Your answer could simply be A, for example, or it could be A, B, C, and D. So put as many answers in the chat as you think are correct. All right. Number 1. Which section of the Act contains the offence of criminal attempts? And let's reveal the answers that are correct. Section 1, subsection 1. You would have, well done. You would have got that correct if you were paying attention earlier, so well done. Number 2. Which of the following would be more than mere preparation for the offence of attempted theft? A, B, C, D, or any combination of those? I'll give you a little bit longer to answer this question because the answers will take you a bit longer to read. Okay, do we have any suggested answers? What do we think? A, B, C, D, or any combination of those? Oh, we seem a bit stumped on this one. Okay, we've gone for D. Congratulations, well done. Going into the property intending to steal. Well done. The others would simply be mere preparation for committing the crime. So watching the property, staking it out, asking your friend to be a getaway driver, and buying equipment that you would need would all be simply preparing to commit the actual offence. But going into the property intending to steal would in fact be going beyond mere preparation. Let's move on to number 3. Which of the following would be considered to be an attempted offence? Again, any combination of A, B, C, or D could be the correct answer. Have a read of each answer, and then pop A, B, C, D, or any combination of those into the chat when you think you know the answer. Okay, what do we think? Do we think A, B, C, D, or a combination of them? Remember, there could be more than one correct answer. All right, some people think it's B and D. Let's reveal. A as well. So running someone over in a car would simply be an actual offence, of course, but importing bananas, believing them to be illegal drugs, even though it would be impossible, is still covered under the Criminal Attempts Act. Trying to poison somebody with something that's not toxic is similar facts, I suppose, to that of White. So again, something that would be an impossible crime to actually commit would be the murder with something that wasn't toxic, but you've still attempted it. And then finally, shooting at someone where the bullet doesn't discharge for whatever reason would all still be attempted crimes. Well done. Moving on to number 4. Which of the following is a case concerning attempting to do the impossible? This was mentioned by Gemma earlier on, and I've also mentioned this case. It is your, I would argue, the most important key case for impossibility. So again, pop A, B, C, or D in the chat. There is only one correct answer this time. And let's reveal what that answer is. It is, of course, Shivpuri, which we've mentioned. It is the most important key case for attempting the impossible. As Gemma mentioned earlier, the case facts are that the defendant believed what they were carrying in a suitcase was illegal drugs that they'd imported, when in actual fact, it was simply discarded vegetable matter, which is not illegal to import or to sell, buy. However, because they believed that they were committing the crime of essentially drug dealing and importing illegal drugs, they were still able to be convicted of the attempted crime of that. Moving on. Okay, we are going to finish today with a 30-second challenge. And the 30-second challenge is to recall the highest number of cases that you can remember from the topic of attempts. So we are going to have 30 seconds on the clock. You are simply going to type as many key cases as you can recall from the topic of attempts. You can either just put one in at a time, or you can type, and then press enter at the very end of the 30 seconds. Let's get 30 seconds on the clock, and off you go. Ten seconds left. 5. And that's your time up. Okay, if you haven't already, can you start typing your answers into the chat or just press enter? We've got a few coming through now. Of course, we've got Shivpuri. As we mentioned, this is one of the most important key cases for that of impossibility. It illustrates the principle that even though you are attempting to do something that is impossible to actually commit the full offence of, you would still be able to be guilty of committing an attempted crime. We've got Gelfella, we've got Wybrow, which are all important key cases. Wybrow, of course, where the husband attempted to kill his wife using, I believe it was a hairdryer or a toaster in the bathtub. I can't remember which appliance, but it was one of them. Gelfella, very good for illustrating going beyond preparation. Attorney General's case, fantastic, well done. You've done really, really well there, remembering so many key cases. Well done. Gemma, are there any other key cases that you think we need to refer to?
There was Campbell as well. Remember right at the beginning, that was the first one that we did, the big reveal. So that one's another key one to put in there. Maybe we weren't remembering that one from the beginning, but it is a key one.
Absolutely. Listen, many, many thanks to everybody who's taken part in the live stream tonight. And of course, a huge, huge thank you to both Gemma and Emily for delivering those questions. If you found tonight useful, please do give us a thumbs up in YouTube. That helps get our message across. Quick reminder, the PowerPoint that Gemma and Emily have been using will be available for you to download as soon as I press the finish button. And this has all been recorded, so you can go through it all again in your own time. Now, I did say right back at the beginning that this is our last live stream of 2025. Many thanks to everybody who has joined us during these live streams throughout the whole of this year. We'll be back early on, probably late January, early February for live streams again for A-Level Law. Clearly working towards those massive, massive exams which are coming up in 2026. So do join us again in the new year. Until then, from Gemma, Emily, myself, everybody at Tutor to You, have a great Christmas and a wonderful new year, and hope to see you in 2026. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.